The next thing you need to do is create an angle for your audience, because that is your point of entry. It's your crack in the door to slip in and get your audience interested in what you have to say. Successful affiliate marketing is all about creating angles. All about creating angles. The best affiliate marketers are the best at creating angles. If you've ever advertised on Plenty of Fish, you'd know the most successful people are the ones that come up with the best angles that fit their demographics. Like Plenty of Fish hinges entirely on angles. Affiliate marketing is all angle-based. One of the main reasons for affiliate failure is just plain uninspired thinking. Like I said earlier, just taking the first idea that comes to their head, just rehashing a bullet point and running with it. You know, the large majority of people never take the time to think of a unique point of entry. They all babble about the same general objective benefits. And I think this boils down to the fact is that, you know, they get affiliate marketing, you know, you're getting paid just for getting someone to click the link. You know, you never created a product or anything like that. You know, you never really, in their minds, do anything. You're a link provider. And I think because of that, there's just this idea that you don't really have to think to do this, and that's so far from the truth. You need to move away from that, and you need to move into more focused creative thinking. So what makes a good angle, all right? Not all angles are created equal. Some have better hooks by nature when it comes to producing a desired action, which is usually going to be an opt-in or a sale, okay? However, aside from the 7 deadly sins I spoke about in the WSO, there are another set of things you can use to help develop high-quality angles. If you've ever read cash advertising, and I highly suggest all of you do at one point in your life, read that book. It will change the way you write, you know, for marketing-based stuff. You know, it's an amazing book. I can't recommend it enough. It's fantastic. All right. If you've read that book, you'll be aware of something called the Life Force 8. And the Life Force 8 consists of 8 very basic human needs that are hardwired into each and every one of us. They don't need to be sold to us. They don't need to be sold. You don't need to be sold. You don't need to be convinced about any of these things. They exist by default. They're inherent in human beings. And what I've found is that if you're able to weave your angles into these 8 forces, you can create absolutely devastating angles that cannot be resisted. So here are the 8 you know, life forces. Survival, enjoyment of life, life extension, enjoyment of food and beverages, freedom from fear, pain, and danger, sexual companionship, obviously, comfortable living conditions, to be superior, winning, keeping up with the Joneses, care and protection of loved ones, and social approval. So a campaign angle can consist of just about any hook you can imagine. And usually, you know, you can make them up out of thin air. You're treading on the gray side. You know, it's a little bit unethical, but I know plenty of affiliate marketers, especially in the CPA and dating realm, that make up angles out of thin air that are just straight, you know, boosts of emotion to their target demographic. They know it'll get an emotional response, so they go for it. If you want to do that, you can do that. I'm not going to pass judgment. But if you really want to get under the skin of your target market, the angle should embrace one or more of the Life Force 8 factors. You know why? Because these aren't wants. They are needs. And that's very powerful. So here's a tip on good angle creation. You can't afford to trap the world in your own eyes. You need to soak up the conversations and watch people. And of course, I'm referring to the people you want to be marketing to. You need to be listening to their needs, acting on their desires, and transmuting that information into a body of work that smells less like you and your worldview and more like your audience. You need to remove yourself from the situation. You cannot make any objective judgments on their worldview. You can't. It's not about agreeing with the angle you're taking. It's about understanding your target audience and their needs and putting that into words. You need to take on the role of your ideal audience. You got to stop writing like I'm 27-year-old guy. If I'm marketing to women, I can't write like I'm a 27-year-old guy. I need to write and speak to the points that are interesting and relevant to a 45-year-old woman that wants eye cream. And all too often I see and affiliate marketing is a very male-dominated arena. People marketing to women and people marketing to different age groups, talking like a mid-20-year-old and trying to push emotional points that have absolutely nothing to do with their audience. You got to get out of your head. You got to get into their head. All right? So I'm going to show you a quick example. My crowd is women who want to date older, affluent men. From my research, they tell me the age is between 35 and 54. If I was going to run a campaign or do something like this, I'd probably tighten up the age range a bit. These people have kids and are divorced. My angles, all right? I'm going to show you one. I've done some research, and I've looked around, and it seems like the vast majority of affiliate marketers are approaching this crowd with the gold digger mindset. Basically, a young, dainty, beautiful woman seeks sophisticated, jet-setting rich man, or presenting a live like the housewives of Orange County lifestyle approach. They're all going for the low-hanging fruit and attacking the 20% of ideas and never really penetrating this market. So I did some brainstorming using the Life Force 8, and I'm going to show you an example. Keep in mind, this is just a rough brainstorm. Once you've chosen an angle that you're happy with, you can then worry about getting the pitch of the copyright, not offending anybody, and adjusting your voice to the style of the market. You just want to get it down, and once you have the idea down, you can go ahead and adjust. And like I said, my crowd is 35 to 54-year-old women that have kids, and they want to date older, affluent men. They're divorced. So if we take the ideas that have been presented from every other affiliate marketer, do you think a 35 to 54-year-old divorced woman wants or will respond to advertisements that talk about jet-setting rich lifestyles and young and beautiful women, or live like a housewife of Orange County? No, they're not going to respond well to that. That's not what they have in mind. So I went with care and protection of loved ones as my angle, and I just verbalized it. This could be something that I can turn into an ad. This is something I could turn into an email campaign. This is something that I can turn into a lot of things, but this is just the general idea. Okay? Give your child the best possible upbringing and the best chances in life. It's tough out there. Meet a man who's already made it. You only deserve the best. Do you think that speaks directly to the wants, needs, and fears of my audience? Of course it does. It penetrates their most private thoughts and fears. What is every woman, every mother cares about their child. And if a divorced woman who's, struggling financially, I forgot to, put that up there in my demo. These people don't make a ton of money. One of your biggest fears of, as a mother with a child and, and is divorced and not making a ton of money is, how am I going to ensure that I give my child the best possible life possible? That was redundant, but that happens. How am I going to pay for their college? How am I going to make sure, they get the best opportunities in life? That's a very deep and private fear. That's not something, that they're going to be talking about at the coffee shop, casually. That's something that's really deeply embedded in them. Okay? So you go in and you penetrate that private thought, and you bring it out, you illuminate it, and you bring it to public. And I'm inferring within this, you're a man who's already made it. You only deserve the best. I'm inferring that there's a solution. Most people are not willing to accept or, even acknowledge that they have a problem unless you can in some way hint that there's a solution. So when you're creating your angles, also be sure, however subtle it may be, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is a way out. You know what I mean? Because there are people that will straight up ignore something on an emotional level if they feel that their problem is something they're going to suffer from, forever. That there's no solution. It's just something that it is what it is, and they're going to deal with it. So you always want to infer that there is a solution, because that also gets people to open up and say, you know what, I do have a problem. And if you're telling me you can fix it, you know what, I'll take a chance. So that's how you create a successful angle. And that kind of angle will play itself out from ad to landing page to email sequence. That's something that you run congruent throughout the whole process. And the beauty of it is it's always going to be running on these emotional levels, and we know that emotion is what gets people to act. I can give them the facts all day. I can give them statistics on men and tell them statistically this age group dates this and that. That doesn't work. We need to give them emotion. But the important part is also to include value within this, because we're not scamsters. We're not out to make a quick buck. We're not preying on people. Okay? We're helping them. And unfortunately, with the way people are, you have to approach it in an emotional way to get them in. All right? So now I want to talk about how to set up email campaigns. I've taught you how to find your audience. I've taught you how to create an angle so you can dig deeper with them. Now I want to teach you how to communicate with these people. All right? Email is the cornerstone of any successful affiliate business. And what I mean by that is an affiliate business that's not married to traffic, an affiliate business that's running, I guess, passive profits, and an affiliate business that capitalizes on the idea of turning strangers into friends and then into customers, then into repeat customers. The only way you can do that is by having a back-end email sequence. All right? So that's why these are really important, and that's why I consider it the cornerstone to my success and something that I really want to teach and get out there. All right? That's why it's very important that you write them the correct way. The way I write and teach these things are a bit different from a majority of the ways you've heard. So some of it might sound a bit odd, and I'm sorry about the typo on the mic. I have quick fingers sometimes. So here's the disclaimer. Email marketing is a massive concept. I can and do spend 6 weeks teaching people how to put this all together. So I'm going to give you the entire foundation here so that you know what to do and how to do it. But it would be absolutely impossible for me to sit here and explain every single intricacy. I will give you everything you need to know, though, so that if you're an enterprising young man or woman and want to go out and do this, you will not be led astray. All right? Awesome. Okay, first thing. I see email marketing broken up into two distinct sections. The first is the relationship, trust, and value building. That's what I use if you're familiar with an autoresponder with Aweber, my follow-up messages for, my email sequence. Then I see something, the second part is product promotion, and that's what I'll use my broadcast for. But I put these in that order for a reason. Never ever flip the two around. Relationship and trust building and bringing value to the table should always be your main goal. Once you start making the conscious decision to promote products first and build relationships second, you will lose. I promise you will lose. I have done it before and I have lost. I know many people have done it before and lost. It may feel great making $15,000 in a month and a half, but guess what you're doing? You're burning your list to hell and they hate you. And they're not going to listen to you anymore. So enjoy that 15 grand. You're not going to get a dime from them again. So think long term. We're building an asset here. There's a ton of upfront work I'm teaching you, but this is an asset. This is not some fly-by-night crap. This is not some quick method generates $600 in 3 weeks on autopilot. This is an asset that you can use to continually bring profit. So do it right. Exactly. Cover your assets. Serious stuff here. Email marketing is all about delivering real value to your audience through the use of a series of highly targeted story-based emails. Your job and aim is to resolve the deep emotional pain your audience is feeling by offering a solution to their problem. In that process, you build a long-term relationship with your audience. Sounds simple. You'll notice I said story-based emails. That's the biggest difference between a mediocre affiliate marketer and one who's consistently pulling in 5 figures a month with a list that likes them and doesn't burn out their list. Your emails need to have context. There needs to be a logical flow from one email to the next. The worst thing you can do is send emails in isolation. Send a product promotion on Monday. Just, hey, buy this. Product promotion on Wednesday. Oh, I never thought this would be that easy. Buy this. Send a product promotion on Friday. Hey, you got to check this out. What the hell is that? That's not personal. That's not anything. That's just straight up, let me suck you dry for as quick as I can, and as long as you're going to open up my emails. There needs to be a flow. Emails need to have a logical narrative structure, a set beginning and a set end. People love stories. They respond to stories. They want to know what happens next. That's why you should always view your email sequences as episodes of a TV show or pieces of a serialized novel. How do those things always end? They always end with cliffhangers that leave you wanting more. Why? Because they want you to tune into the next week's episode. They want you to tune into the next month's publication. And in your case, you want them to open the next email. So if we're going to look at it, I'm not sure what's on the next slide, but I'm going to explain this, and if it's redundant, my apologies. Let's look at it this way. We found our audience. We know who they are. We know they're at point A, which is their problem. They want to be at point Z, which is their end goal, their desired result. In the middle are a series of roadblocks that they need to pass through in order to get there. So let's just take the IM world, for example. And I'm going to go broad, and I told you not to go broad, but for purposes, actually, you know what? Let's take the golf angle, all right? And I'm going to go broad again, but just for example, okay? So you have a golfer. His end goal, his starting point is he sucks at golf. His end goal is he wants to be good at golf, okay? The first roadblock, the proper stance when driving the ball, so there's no slices. The next roadblock, how to improve your short game so you can get onto the green from the fairway in fewer strokes. Another roadblock, how to putt to shave strokes off your game when you're on the green. Very simplistic, very primitive, but that is a simple roadblock solution construct. And that can build into a story because there is a defined beginning, middle, and end. And that's how you should always be, conveying information to your subscribers and, in your emails, through story, through context. Each email connects with the other. You reference back to points. You tell stories. You assume the character, and you engage with them. Okay? This all boils down to knowing your audience. If you know how they speak, what their needs, wants, and desires are, you can easily construct a story-based email sequence that leads them through their roadblocks into their desired end goal. Remember, email marketing is about delivering real value to an audience. It's about building a long-term relationship with that audience. They're your crowd. People are inherently good, and if you treat them with respect and empathy, you will always win in the long run. It all starts here, even before you even write an email. You need to understand this. Everything you do in your business should be first and foremost in your customer's best interest. I'll get to this in a second because I want to talk about emails a bit more. Let me show you the second part. I want to talk about this a bit more. Product promotion. Here's the thing with product promotion. I'm going to give you the entire big picture. I'm going to tell you what I teach my coaching students right now. Okay? The relationship, trust, and value building section, that's something called an episodic-based email sequence. All right? When you add people to your list, they're automatically brought onto that email sequence. And it's just a long story that leads them through their roadblocks. Okay? Through those roadblocks, you're going to get a point or a chance here or there to promote an offer. Usually, it's helping provide the bigger picture. It's never a hard sell. Obviously, you have an email list and you want to promote products to them. How do you do that effectively? So for anybody that has a list out there right now to do that effectively, I'm going to give away very, very expensive advice. First things first, you have a main list probably. What you need to do is start segmenting them. Segmenting them as soon as possible. Say you don't have any segments right now. There's no segments at all, and you have an internet marketing list. You have no idea really what like that. You want to send out a product promotion. Now, what everybody usually does is just send out that product promotion, say it's for a CPA offer, CPA WSO, to their entire list. Guess what happens? There's a bunch of people on that list that have no desire, care, or want to hear anything about CPA offers. So what happens? Your email becomes a distraction to them. And now in their eyes, you're less of a trusted source. You don't get them. If you get them, you wouldn't have sent that to them. You know, some of that relationship and value building you've been doing has been sunken down. You never want to be a distraction to your audience. You only want to send them emails that are specifically relevant to them. All right? So what most people do is they just blast it out to their whole list. Say, oh, whatever clicks I get. And you piss people off that way. You burn lists that way. And you're not optimizing, you know, your conversions and your selling power. What you need to do is segment the list. So again, according to this example, we just have one big, broad internet marketing list. We have no idea what they're into. But you want to promote a CPA offer. But you also don't want to piss off your list, and you understand the value of sending emails only to people who want to get them. So here's something that you do. This ties into the product promotion. This is how you promote a product. You do something called a raise your hand email. It sounds ridiculous, but this is what you do. You send an email saying, and if you've built up good rapport with these people, this will not be a problem to them. Say, listen, I just came across a wonderful CPA program. You know, I'm planning on promoting it. I've got a great bonus to offer you. But here's the deal. I know all of you are not interested in CPA marketing, so I've created an exclusive list for you guys. And if you're interested, click here, opt in, and I'll tell you more of the story. What do you have now? You have people that are laser targeted, you know, pinpointed, you know, not tire kickers. They took action and actually opted into another list to learn more about the CPA marketing product you want. So now you have a sub-list of people that you know are interested in CPA marketing. So now you have that, now you have that segmented list. How do you promote to them? You do it in a series of 3 emails. The first email sets the stage. You tell them what you're going to be doing over the next 3 days. You tell them what the product is. You tell them a little bit of what it's about. You tell them that you're going to be offering some value in the second email. And in the third email, you're going to deliver the bonus details and your affiliate link. Very simple. You're setting the stage. The second email, you provide value. Because if you go back to that first quote I showed you, where you're not going to wait for money to transfer hands before you start, you know, taking care of people, that's what this is all about. Say the product is about, you know, Plenty of Fish, CPA marketing on Plenty of Fish, and you know, you went through the product, but you felt, you know, it didn't really go into angle creation enough, or something like that. All right. Your second email, where you deliver value, you tell them about that. You educate them. You give them some piece of information that can help them succeed if they never buy the product. You expand a bit more on angle creation. Say, you know, women are easier to market to. You know, sell the experience, sell the emotions, that sort of thing. Third email, deliver your bonus. Your bonus is either playing on a strength of the product or playing on the weakness of a product. Do that, and you're going to sell a lot more products, have a lot higher EPC, and a much more happier list. That's how that works. All right. I didn't write enough down for product promotion, so I just wanted to quickly explain that to you so you guys understood that. Does that make sense to everybody? The key to product promotion is list segmentation. All right. And the easiest way to do that with a broad list that you have is just raise your hand emails. Get them to segment themselves and send a series of 3 emails to promote a product where you set the stage, deliver value, and deliver your bonus on the third one. It's sort of like a, if you want to look at it in literary terms, the third email would be the climax, you know, the high point of the story. So that's what I have to say about email marketing.